Welcome to High Noon Live on LinkedIn. I'm Nikki Robotham and I'm your host today in studio with Michelle Cavé talking about embracing your elegant power around building brands and businesses. But before I introduce Michelle to you, I really want to touch on the concept of elegant power. It's obviously a concept that's close to my heart as the author of the book, Embrace Your Elegant Power, Your Path to Success Through Ease. I really believe that life requires more easefulness. Not that it's always going to be easy, but it should feel easeful. And really what's required for that is when we start to tune into ourselves, trust ourselves again, and really have our own back, knowing that we know best for ourselves, rather trusting everyone else as an external authority outside of ourselves. That's when the magic really happens. We really have our own backs from that regards. And it's so important, and especially when it comes to building a business. And Michelle is such a great example of that. Michelle is the CEO and MD of Brandfundi, which is a boutique brand communications company that she founded 7 years ago. Welcome, Michelle. It's so great to have you in studio with us.
Thank you, Nikki. It's good to be here.
Perfect. And now, Michelle, tell us a little bit more about Brandfundi. First of all, I love the name. It really feels so South African as well. Really, what does Brandfundi do?
Brandfundi is a brand communications company that specializes in public relations and marketing. So we do the full scope of corporate communications, corporate social investment, internal communications, social media, you name it. Every discipline under the sun regarding public relations and marketing we touch on.
That's amazing. And I think, to that point, you spoke about the brand communications piece. Communication is so important, both in relationships and in business when it comes to really owning a brand. I mean, how do you see that really play out for your clients around where you've made a difference in their communication strategy, how that's come to the fore?
Yeah, I think it's just about understanding the bigger picture and knowing where they ultimately want to be as a brand. Yeah. And it's those building blocks that you need along the way to position it and line it up so that you can achieve that goal.
Yeah, that golden thread of consistency is so important.
And also the honesty and the transparency that has to come from both sides is very important, because a lot of clients get a bit cagey about, we don't want to share those sides of our, or that side of our brand. We want to hide that. So it's about knowing how to reposition and shift perceptions around that and build from there.
Absolutely. But to that point around, creating that sense of trust through maybe showing some of that stuff that we used to keep hidden.
Yes.
I've seen that being so important in the market today, because it actually says that this brand is human, this company is human, and they're not going to just show you the highlights. We see so much of that on social media, and I think it just creates that depth within a brand.
It does, because that's what the target audience will resonate with. They want to see transparency. They want to see an authentic brand that they can resonate with.
Yeah.
And if you come across as too perfect, they're going to find a way to expose you.
Absolutely. I mean, it just comes to mind, Capitec recently had some payments issues.
Yes.
And I love the fact that they just owned it. They're like, we're sorry, that didn't work so well.
Yeah.
But I want to come back to the start of Brandfundi, because Brandfundi has just turned 7 years old, and I was very privileged to be at the birthday celebration and actually talk about elegant power with you, and some of your clients, which was so phenomenal. But to have gotten to that 7-year mark is such an achievement. But you built this business under pressure, off the back foot. Tell us a bit more about that story.
Yes, well, I've always dreamt of having my own PR agency, but I wanted to gain in-house experience and consultancy experience and just learn the ropes, so to speak. So I worked both in consultancy environments and in-house, and I climbed up the ladder, and then I got comfortable with the salary that I was getting every month. So the opportunity to jump ship and start my own thing was always a very daunting thought. And the universe conspires, I think, to help you realize your destiny. But I was retrenched from a company that I'd been working with for 8 years after just having had a baby. So it was a tumultuous time. I mean, the company was actually exiting the South African market, and I was an expensive resource anyway. And so I thought, now this is an opportunity to shine. This is the start. But It came at an interesting time too, because I very soon became a single mom.
Yeah.
And so it became a necessity and a sort of a journey of survival more than anything else.
Yeah. And how did you build that evidence to support yourself that you could do this? Because I often talk about the concept of evidence stacking. You know, we build that trust in ourselves as
Yes.
we take each sort of step. You know, we believe we can, we take that
Yes.
leap of faith. But then we also have to build that momentum for ourselves.
That's right.
And that's why I love that concept of evidence stacking. It's
Yeah.
like training a muscle at gym. You know, it just says, oh, I can do this. Oh, actually, I've got proof
Yes.
now that I can do this.
Yes.
And how you build that momentum in your business. You know, obviously, what were some of the first wins that you had that really gave you that sense of confidence in yourself?
I think it's the fact that my network really embraced me when they knew that I was out on my own and I had shared my experience and also what I was hoping to achieve with the agency. You know, there was a lot of support for that.
Yeah.
You know, referrals and people giving me an opportunity and opening doors for me. So I think that was the initial sort of tick, if you can say that.
Yeah.
And then it took me a long time to build up confidence. I mean, to be a single mom, to be retrenched, it takes a massive knock on your confidence and your self-belief. So for a long time, I didn't have that. And you just sort of put your head down and do the best that you can do.
Yeah.
But you have to believe it. You can't, there's no room for doubt, really.
Yeah.
So
there's no plan B in that instance,
There was
especially as a
no-
single mom.
no fallback plan.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important. That's a message I really want to drive home for our audiences around having your own back, even when it is that leap of faith. It's that courage that you then start to build through accretion, those small steps,
Yes.
the evidence that this is going to work for you. And in the next segment, we're going to chat to Michelle really around, you know, a successful business that had a degree of success and then COVID hit. Difficult times. How do we then bring that evidence back and build momentum back for ourselves again in tough, stressful periods? Because that's really where we have to learn to trust ourselves and trust the people around us. And especially in a family-run business, which we'll talk to more in the next segment.